Yo guys, welcome back to the channel, and I do apologize. Haven't been posting quite a bit, and I don't think that's gonna change for quite a bit of time. So yeah, so let's get into it. As you guys see the title of the video, my game of the year for 2023. If you guys haven't watched the previous series of this on my channel, the criteria comes down to gameplay as number one, story as number two, audio and language design number three, and last, visuals. So, if you guys know, I usually give my game of the year to a Nihon Falcon game because they're just done so well. But for this time, this year, I haven't played any Nihon Falcon games. We're gonna be waiting for Kai no Kiseki that comes in next year. So technically, currently the year, which is 2024 right now. So I'm super ecstatic. I haven't done anything videos regarding Kai no Kiseki because not a lot of information has come out for the game yet at this current point in time. But I'm super down for it. All right, so I want to get to my honorable mention because there's only two contenders that I look at this year. The honorable mention is Fire Emblem Engage. I would have 100% love to have put that as my game of the year, but it's going to be another criteria that I'm going to talk about once I get to the two games. Was the fact that of the matter that it was DLC 4 that really soured the taste of Engage for me. I do feel like the game was a little bit undercooked at the time of release. Obviously, it got better over time with each DLC released for the game, but it really came down to, and the OG game was fun. It was just plain fun, but I felt like there was a lot of restrictions in the game, especially with money and grinding requirements. It just felt a little bit stiff-handed because people could cheese it in previous games. Sorry. But ultimately, I still enjoyed the game. It was still really good until we hit DLC for Fell Xenologue. And typically, I usually don't include any DLCs within the matter of a fact for the games. But because of this year, I kind of decided to allow a little bit of a loophole where we can see the future of a game as long as it's within the year it comes out. I will only do this from essentially January to, once again, December of the year. We're not going to go into the next year. If you release late and you got to update your game, that's on you. As a developer, that's on you. But I will allow in the future now future patches and DLC to be included within the original game's review. And because Engage did it so quick, yeah, Fell Xenologue was bad. It was just plain bad. One of the most like unthought out map design. It truly was aggravating, especially playing on the hardest difficulty. I actually really went back and played the easier difficulties. Lunatic hard is still pretty darn hard. Easy is like it's like a freaking joke, and they have physically no way of designing any of the maps. That's all I'm gonna say on the topic of the matter. So the two games in contention for Game of the Year, drumroll please, is Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3. So ultimately, the reason why I made that argument about why I'm waiting a little bit now for games to fully get updates out is because of these two games specifically. My criticism of Tears of the Kingdom was the beginning of the game was extremely slow, but as you start playing the game more and more, and you get past that opening section of the game really opens up to you innovation and just fun gameplay wise mechanics that I truly liked it. For the first time, I'm like, since playing Breath of the Wild, I'm like, this is an insanely good game. I feel like it was just so much more innovation and fun to play. But ultimately, every single update ruined the fun even more. I don't understand why we really need to be stopping item glitching in Tears of the Kingdom. Sorry, I really don't understand why Nintendo is so intent on essentially stopping players from cheesing the game. It's a single player game with nothing to gain for that other than how fast you want or how easy you want to make it. Baldur's Gate kind of was the opposite, where I felt like I played it a lot. I really enjoyed the game, but you would really have to wait to the end game to really enjoy it. but there were many bugs in the game once it started up. Ultimately, like obviously, a lot of them were fixed, and many of my issues were patched out in subsequent patches, and they added more to the game afterwards. So it feels like it was literally between those two games where Zelda was regressing while Baldur's Gate was improving. Ultimately, Zelda at the time, which I do give it major props, worked as intended, and there was no negative consequences because of the bugs. Whereas Baldur's Gate, if you hit one of those, you were quest locked. Your game would shut down. I only experienced maybe out of my 4 playthroughs of the game, I didn't get a full 100% for the game because, as you guys see, I missed out on, I believe, Tactician and one more trophy. I still played a lot of this game. The point of the fact of the matter is, I played this game so much. At this point, I hate playing through chapters 1 and chapter 2. I just want to get to chapter 3. Like the third act in the game is so much fun. It's where the game opens up. It's where you get your top tier weapons and all of your builds. It's where the game comes together. And I wish there was some way you could skip that. It's the same way as I would like you could somehow skip the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom. But ultimately, the Game of the Year can be only given to one game, and I feel like it has to go. And even though I really wanted to give it to Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate had me hooked more. It had me playing way more than Tears of the Kingdom. I went back for multiple playthroughs to play it different ways, with friends, by myself. It was just overall like they keep improving the game, whereas I feel like Tears of the Kingdom has stagnated in the Nintendo ways. Look, I love Tears of the Kingdom. If it was any other year where Baldur's Gate or Nihon Falcom game wouldn't have released, it would have easily won first place. It wouldn't be a question. But the fact of the matter comes down to Baldur's Gate has that replayability, has a good story, it has good visuals, it has good voice acting. It nails every single point I needed to take seriously. Whereas Zelda, once again, is held back by the Nintendo Switch and visuals, so it loses out there. Story-wise, I do think it is very weak, but the story, once again, works. The gameplay, honestly, edges out Baldur's Gate. But it really only does that when both games are at its peak. I think Tears of the Kingdom barely slips by it, and it's like a nudge better than that. Ultimately, I do think Baldur's Gate is my game of the year for 2023. So, I'm sure that's gonna not get any heated debate. So, yep. That's probably my one video for maybe the year. We'll see. Once again, we don't know if I'm gonna do any content for Kai no Kiseki. We'll most likely put out at least a trophy guide at the bare minimum. But until then, peace out. Stay safe.